So in the last light of a Monday afternoon, I thought I'd show you exactly what's been going on in the castle as an intro into our October report. Here we go. So this is the room that I'd cleared previously, and they've actually finished it off in many ways with various bits of detritus sitting about. The thing that I love about this is that we can now get into the main turret. You can see where the gun loops are, and as you move up you get the view all the way to the top. It's extraordinary, isn't it? It's really beautiful. But what's become obvious is that these gun loops, such as that one there, were actually all the way around. If you look at this window and just look to the top there, you'll see a slight, well, you'll see the curve above that concrete lintel, which is exactly the same as the one beside it. In other words, at some point, this window was inserted. The other thing to notice is at this level, which is about head height, well, my head height, and I'm 6 foot, you see the odd joist hole. So there was a floor at about the window level where that can is. There you are, there is some more. So there was a floor at this level, and if you walk through into the main room, the original room, you see exactly those above the fireplace there. So they would have had a low-level floor here, which would have allowed them to have storage, we think. Anyway, and this room all the way up to there. So over the next few weeks, the guys are going to strip off all the vegetation. They're going to make sure that all the hanging stuff is taken away, and that doorway is taken out, etc., etc. All the wood is going to go. Now, today they've been working on this room, and they've done a reasonable job. They've got quite a long way in. So that's just a day's work for one guy and his barrow. So we're getting in there. And of course, the issue, as I think I probably said before, are the lintels in this room. You can see how they're cracked at all levels, which ain't great, but we'll be working on that over the next couple of weeks to see what we can do to support that side, and then up to those as well, which look much healthier actually. Okay, so out of that room and then through the long corridor, which they cleared out on the first day, with a side glance into, this is the sort of stuff they'd had to deal with previously. That was the old kitchen, the roof all on it. You can just see some melamine there in the corner. And then here's the hall, which is looking spectacular in this late afternoon sunlight. Isn't that fantastic? And you'll have seen photos of all of this on our Instagram feed, but it's just nice to give you that feel for what the space is like. And there we are, below our feet, underneath the Jenny, is the tiling, which has been destroyed basically, but we can now see enough of it to reproduce it if we so choose. So next, onto the old staircase. I've taken out the bottom flight because it was really completely rotted in, and then behind the wheelbarrow is the safe. At some point we'll have a little exploration about what's in that safe. Interesting. And then through this door into the final one of our rooms. Oh, interesting. There we go. So that's the chimney basically over the hall, and this room is bounded by this dividing wall, and in the window we have a very interesting basin arrangement. Not what I was expecting at all. But also, this is the wood that we've won on site. We use the next room in as a wood store. And then beside that, the remains of an old fireplace, I think. You can see the lintel there and the loosely packed dry stain wall. And then above it, another massive chimney stack all the way to the top. So, there we have it. Inside the castle properly for the first time. So what you might ask is the next stage for what we're doing. Well, there's a lot more clearance, and one of the big tasks is obviously the staircase, because there's all sorts of interesting stuff around that's going to be very difficult to clear, and that's why we've got the expertise of BTs on site. Also, we're going to be looking at how we deal with things like a very, very decrepit old chimney stack, and then how we make it safe for all our lads and ladies to come in and have a look, because of course that's part of the dream of it, isn't it? You know, you'll be able to have a good gander, as it were. So other than that, other than the clearance, what we're enabling is a proper dimensional survey of the building, which will then allow us to make the plans that are necessary to then provide us with the basis for a business plan. And that business plan will then help us to raise the finance to take us on to the next stage. So the other part of my report for this October is just to give you a final examination of the work that the AIP Jammers did in September. And I've got to say, I'm really thrilled. It is just fantastic. I think you can see behind me the type of finish that they have been able to achieve in such a short time. Eland and Nigel really helped us out in creating exactly the right sort of atmosphere to get the work done, and they transmitted the skills beautifully so that everybody, I think, felt they went away with both a knowledge of what they were doing, of the repointing, the raking out, of the whole process, and an insight into what it actually took to create a really fantastic restoration job. And it's just beautiful. Really has stunned me, I have to say. So thank you guys, all you AIP Jammers. Thank you, Nigel and Elon. Let's have a quick look at what they've achieved. I think this is what you might call joint porn or lime porn. Isn't it fantastic? And it goes all the way down, all the way to the foot of this stanchion. Isn't that just fabulous? And now all the covers are off. You can really see how well the bridge has been served by the new pointing. It's lovely. Very, very pleasing. Just gives a whole new level of solidity. Helps us deal with all that rainfall we get in Argyll. I'm looking forward to working on the arch at the other end next year. So what, you might ask, can lads and ladies do at the moment that can help this fantastic restoration programme? Well, the first thing is to make sure that you go to our shop and buy the merchandise and all the various tartan items that are now in stock. We've got all sorts of things, all sorts of goodies that you might want to buy, including tea towels and caps. I'm not wearing my very favourite Dunans Castle cap at the moment because I have to wear a hard hat given where I am. And then you can also volunteer. You'll know by now about our really successful AIP volunteer programme. Well, that, I'm pleased to say, is happening again, and we're going to be actually doing 2 sessions, a spring session and an autumn session this year, both of which our volunteers will get a chance to work on the castle and also on the bridge. We want to progress both projects as much as we can. So it's going to be 2 weeks at the beginning of May, and then a further 2 weeks like this year at the beginning of September. If you would like to volunteer and become part of that, just check out the Adventures in Preservation website that we're going to be publicising it on in the newsletter.